Hey there, viewers! No matter how disgusted you feel talking about poop, the truth is, we all do it. Regular bowel movements indicate a healthy digestive system. In fact, when you don't go regularly, you should worry. So let's talk about the secret your feces hold about your health. Prepare yourself, folks, and try not to laugh. Is it normal to relieve yourself twice a day? What's the color and consistency of a healthy number 2? What does lumpiness say about your health? We'll be discussing all of these and more. What's a normal poop? Pooping is part of your daily routine, but it has some very important health indicators. Granted, not all bowel movements are the same, with different people having their own size and shape, but there are some indicators that show if your health is deteriorating. So, what does a normal stool look like? Number 1. Color. Normally, color of a healthy person's stool is usually brown. This is because of a pigment created by breaking down the red blood cells in your body. If you see brown, it usually signifies most of your systems are working as they should. Have you ever taken a funny colored dump? Did it startle you? Sound off in the comment section and start a conversation with our Bestie community. Number 2. Shape. The usual shape should be as a log. This is considered the normal way and shows your digestive system is healthy. Number 3. Size. The size of your stool also matters. The healthy size is about 2 inches and easy to pass. If it comes out in smaller pellets, it's not a good sign. If it's longer, it can be harder to pass through your colon. Number 4. Consistency. The consistency needs to be soft but firm. If it's too hard or too runny, it signifies digestive issues or that your diet does not contain enough fiber. Number 5. Length of time. More often than not, you should be able to complete a bowel movement in a minute or so, but it can take longer. About 10 to 15 minutes is the healthy range. Anything longer than that is not a healthy sign. Number 6. Frequency. How many times a day you go also matters. On average, people go number 2 once a day, but the frequency of a healthy body can range from every other day to as much as 3 times in one. If your frequency is lesser or more than this range, it's time to get your body checked. The 7 categories of poop. Now that we know what healthy stool looks like, it's important to figure out when you should worry about your health. The Bristol stool scale was created to assist you with this. There are 7 categories in this scale. Type 1. If it's hard and comes out in the form of small lumps, it's possible you have constipation. Added to that, if you're unable to pass it smoothly, it's a sure shot sign you need to loosen up. Literally. Type 2. If your stool is in the shape of a log but still lumpy, it's another sign of constipation. While it's okay to be constipated once in a while, you shouldn't be having these 2 types all that frequently. Type 3. If it's in the shape of a log but has some cracks in it, congrats! This is perfect. If you're able to pass it easily and it's also a bit soft, you have a perfectly healthy gut. Type 4. If your stool is snake-like but comes out smoothly, that's another good sign. However, this should only happen once in a while and never more frequently than that. Type 5. If it's small, like in Type 1, but soft and easy to pass, it usually means your diet is missing fiber. Type 6. If your stool is too fluffy with ragged edges, it's possible you're suffering a mild case of diarrhea. The first thing to do would be to drink lots of water and other liquids. Type 7. If your stool is completely watery with no solid bits at all, it's a clear case of diarrhea. This basically means it all moved through the bowels at a faster pace than what would be considered healthy. Before we move ahead, here's a video you might like to watch. Learn more about the 10 body changes that need immediate attention. Different colors and what it says about your health. Apart from the appearance, another thing to look out for is the color. Typically, you'll experience one of 6 types, not counting brown. Number 1. Black. Black poop can be cause for concern, especially if there's no apparent reason for it. If you take iron supplements or are medicating with drugs like Pepto-Bismol, it could give you black stool. But if that's not the case, it could be because of bleeding in your gastrointestinal tract. Bleeding is usually supposed to be red, but if there's bleeding in the upper gastrointestinal tract, the blood gets digested and turns black in color. The black color is due to digested blood. Number 2. Green. A bit of green is perfectly fine, but it's not a good sign when it's completely green. It could be that you've been eating a lot of green foods like spinach and kale, but it's more likely because the stool is passing through your bowel system at a quick pace. It basically means your stool is not collecting enough of the bilirubin pigment on its way out. Number 3. Pale white or clay colored. If your stool is pale in color, it's likely because you're not producing enough bile. This could mean the duct for the bile juice is blocked. Please note this can also happen when you're taking diarrhea medications, in which case the pale color is a common side effect. Number 4. Red. Red is a sign you should never take lightly, unless you've eaten something like beetroot or lots of tomato juice. Otherwise, red stool means there's bleeding in your lower gastrointestinal tract. It could be because of hemorrhoids or a bleeding lower intestine. You need to get yourself checked if red occurs without any apparent reason. Number 5. Yellow. If your stool is greasy, stinky, and comes out yellow, it basically means you're eating too much fat. Cutting down on the fat content in your diet can help solve this problem. It could also be a symptom of celiac disease, which is why your body is not absorbing enough nutrients. Now that you have an understanding of what to look for in terms of appearance and color, you can always keep track of your health by looking for indicators. Although it's not good to jump to conclusions and settle on the worst possibility right away, keeping your doctor informed about any changes wouldn't be a bad idea. Constipation is generally the main reason for an uncomfortable bowel movement. Diarrhea could be because you're not absorbing enough nutrients. But if you fill your diet with nutrient-rich food and fiber, you can get back to having healthy brown stool every day. Floating poop. Ever looked in the toilet and found your stool floating? I know it's pretty disgusting to talk about, but we've made it this far, right? Floating is a topic we can't ignore. It means your feces lack the density it needs to sink. Experts associate floating stool with an increased amount of gas or water. It could also be due to poor absorption of nutrients. In that case, you'll also experience other troubles like constipation. Are you really constipated? This is an important question. Are you really having trouble going, or does your digestive system simply take time to digest food? Experts define it as having less than 3 bowel movements every week. Relieving yourself once, twice, or 3 times a day is absolutely normal and healthy. But if you're having bowel movements 2 or 3 days apart, it's a sign you're constipated. You could be constipated for a lot of reasons. Nerve issues or blockage in and around your rectum or colon could be the culprit. Problems with pelvic muscles, pregnancy, diabetes, and even your diet could leave you constipated. Your stool definitely says a lot about your health. In case you're stuck with bowel troubles, eating more fiber can definitely help. There are also effective ways to maintain a healthy colon. Here's how. Watch the 9 healthiest high-fiber foods you should be eating. You can also try 14 effective ways to maintain a healthy colon. Go ahead, click one, or better yet, watch both, and learn more about how to have pleasant trips to the bathroom. Are you having healthy bowel movements? Let us know in the comments below.